these are a few of my trees here in my backyard. You might say I'm out of control. This here is a Japanese black pine slant style, and get a close-up on it so they can see it good. But this tree was about 3 feet tall when I got it, and I cut it off right about there, bent this branch up to make a new apex, and it's coming along real well. This here's a little Japanese 5-needle pine. A lot of nice weeds here, companion plants. It's been a hot summer. My trees have been neglected. This is a little Austrian pine. First branch, second branch, a little back one here. Starting to get some growth up here, and you can see how the tree will be in another year. Down here I have a Fuji American arborvitae. This tree's probably 50 years old or older. Yeah, let me find a place to set it down. You can't get through this backyard. This here is a ponderosa pine. I got this last year from a friend that passed away, and it was all drooping down, and I wired it, and it's come back pretty good. This is a Japanese black pine that Ben Oki did as a demo tree several years ago. I'll wire this down, wire this down, do some pruning back on it, and see what happens. This is a Japanese black pine, little Mame Cascade. He's coming along pretty good. Another Japanese black pine. This is a Japanese black pine. It's coming along real good. I like this tree. Here's another Japanese black pine that's doing real good. I'm real happy with all the growth on it. A lot of leaves. And he's going to be real happy when I pinch him back this fall. Another Japanese black pine. That's the better side. Needs a lot of work done on him. And I've got stuff all over the place here. This is sad looking mugle pine that I'll do something with someday. Here's a mugle pine that needs to be worked over and wired. It's growing on a rock. And we move. You want to turn that off? We'll go around the other side. You can go around that side. Okay. Just another mugle pine, and artillery plants that I had on some tropicals that come back every year on all my trees, and it's kind of a pest, but that's a little mugle that needs to be worked over. This is a Japanese black pine that I've been working on. It's one of those $5 Kmart trees I got several years ago. Here's another one. I guess I'm moving too fast, huh? Another Japanese black pine. And here's a black pine I'm trying in a pond basket. And I've got stuff all over this yard. Here's Shimpakus, that's nursery stock. This right here is a Kofuji wisteria. They also call it blind wisteria because it seldom blooms. But it's kind of a nice little tree if you look at different sides. Next to it is a tropical mimosa, the lead tree, and you can see the blooms on it. Also, it gets seed pods on it. They're almost as long as the tree is tall. And this tree here is getting all the old needles are starting to fall off. It needs to be worked over. This tree here was sent from Japan right after World War II by a GI to his girlfriend in Seattle, Washington. And the tree's over 70 years old. And here's some of my nursery stock. Here's a big trident maple that has a nice trunk on it that'll go in a pot someday. This plant here and the one in the back there, that one back there is a Blowy juniper. And I'm thinking about doing some air layering on this and doing a forest planting. This is a Japanese black pine that will go in the big drum pot over there on the bench. See on the end of the bench, the drum pot with all the knobs on it. See I'll put the Japanese black pine in there someday, but this is the start of it. It has a lot of work to be done on it. A lot of wiring. Back here the weeds went wild this year. This is a Femina juniper that was done years ago by Ben Oakey, and it needs to be completely redone. Back here are some trident maples and things that I'll be putting in the ground next spring. The bougainvillea is the one called Surprise. It has different colored flowers on the same plant. This here is a Shimpaku juniper, very old, and I got it several years ago from a guy that had it planted in the top of a bird bath. I pitched it back and it's starting to come back, but I think I came close to killing it. This here is a Eugenia that I lost a lot of branches on it, so I'm letting it grow wild so the branches will thicken up, and then I'll go in here and do the pine tree style, the Matsu style. And then right here is a Shimpaku juniper that Ben Oakey did last year at the Japanese festival. I assist him at the festival every year, and I have to buy the nursery stock. And this tree here is pretty nice Shimpaku, and the guy taking the picture is going to get this tree when we get through here. Hey, you like it? He's shaking his head. Yes, he's happy. Yeah. And then the big tree in the ground here is a corkbark elm. If we can move along the other side, if I can find it. Okay, this used to be a little 6-inch tree that I put in the ground, and it's gotten 12 feet tall a couple of times, been cut back. But what I like about this tree, I can wrap wire around the bark, around the branch, and see how it forks up here. And then you air layer that, and you end up with a small tree with a very thick trunk. And I do have an air layer over here that I don't know if it's going to make it or not, but I have air layered several off this. You can see the cork there where I had wire on it. I air layered it past that. This here was a Procumbens nana that I got for $10, and I let Ben Oki use it to do a demo tree, and you can't even tell he worked on it. It's gotten so wild just in 1 year. And over here, this is my big trident maple here. I got this down at Brussels Martins about 1985, and I've cut all the branches off of it a couple times and grew new branches, and it's doing real good. This is a little narrow leaf fig I put on pumice rock, and these little figs just go wild. And these are kind of untrained, partially trained, but these were roots that I cut off of a big fig I have, and they make nice little mames. Look at that. All of them need to be worked over. I did this one several years ago from a root, little root mame. I even took a fig and put on this piece of pumice here. If anybody's ever seen the ruins, the temples in Cambodia called Angkor Wat, well, this is mine. I can do this. I even have some roots here I might be able to graft on. That's just something to play with. This is a big shimpaku I have here. This is the back of it, but it has some beautiful foliage. And this tree here is a ponderosa pine collected in Colorado, estimated to be about 150 years old. Notice all those surface roots. And it has very heavy foliage for ponderosa. I'm very happy with this tree.